One of my doctors told me one time, and it was the first time I had met this doctor, and he was like, I have news for you. I asked him, so am I going to die? And he was like, we're all going to die. It's just a matter of when. So, like, that kind of started to put it into perspective. So it was funny.
Can you tell me about any death that affected you profoundly?
I was in 10th grade. I was dating a boy who was a grade younger than me, and we were in a car together. He was in the front passenger seat and I was in the back passenger seat, and another friend was driving, and we had two other friends with us, and there was a accident, and as a result of the accident he ended up passing away. And that, I still think about him like every day, you could say, because he really taught me that if you want to say I love you to someone, or if you want to say how you feel about someone, you need to tell them when you feel it, because you might not get to tell them tomorrow. So that was one thing that was very impactful for me.
When were you diagnosed with Lynch syndrome?
So I was diagnosed with my first cancer in 2015, and
When?
that was uterine cancer. I had that, and then 5 years later they found another spot on my ovary. And because I was young at the time, so 2015, I was 35. 5 years later, I was 40, and they were like, okay, this is the second cancer in 5 years, and you're not even 50 years old yet. They did some genetic testing and found out that I had Lynch syndrome, which it means that I'm at like a 95% risk of getting colon cancer. But if you have Lynch syndrome and you develop your first cancer before the age of 50, it works like a domino effect. And in women, it starts with uterus and ovaries and then goes to your colon, intestines, stomach. So it just makes its trail through all of your gastrointestinal fun. So I was 40 when I found out that I had it, and it was definitely like an eye-opening experience for me. The first time you get diagnosed with cancer, right? It, like, everyone's afraid of the C word, right? No one wants to hear it. When I had my uterine cancer, I thought I'm going to get my uterus removed. I'm going to go through some treatment. I'm going to be fine because it's not there anymore. And then you hear this and it's okay. It's just going to keep going. It's not going to end. It's just going to keep going. I asked my doctor, I was like, if you know the trail that it's going to make, can't you just remove what's next so it can't move any further? Not thinking that it could jump from one to the next. And he was like, that's not how it works. And they explained to me they can't say how long between the cancers. They can't guarantee or predict when it'll happen. They're just going to say that it's going to happen. So in my case, I think one of the good things is we know that it's going to happen. So we look for it. And we look for it so we find it early enough so that when we find it, we can make a difference and make it better. So that's my fun.
When you were diagnosed with Lynch syndrome, how did you face it?
So when I found out about it, I completely shut down, and I decided I needed to just get away. So I was living in New Hampshire at the time, and I drove down to Florida, which is my hometown. And I just went and I sat on the beach and I listened to the waves coming in for the entire day. Like, I got there, I sat on the beach, and I, that was like my solace, right? I cried. I just let it all out, just me and the beach. And then after that, I made the decision that I wasn't going to let it define me, that I needed to define it. And this is something that I have, it doesn't have me.
This diagnosis, how did it change your life?
I will say I had a lot of things that I had on bucket list or a checklist. You're like, oh, I want to be able to do this one day when I have enough money. You don't have to do it right now, but I can do it later. It made me stop saying I'm going to do it later. If I put something on my list, I make a plan to do it. If there's a place I want to go to see, I'm going to go see it. If there's, I went skydiving and it scared the crap out of me, but I did it because I've always wanted to do it. And I wasn't going to say, I'll just do it next year because who knows what's going to happen, right? Anything could happen. And now looking back on it, yeah, I had this diagnosis, but at the same time, anyone could be hit by a bus tomorrow too. So I didn't want to miss the opportunity to do the things that I've always wanted to do. We all have this life. We should live it. And if we don't live it, we're going to end up regretting it at some point in time. Some people, they're like, aren't you afraid of your future? And I was like, no, not that it's not going to be there, but afraid of the future. Like I'm going and doing all these things and I'm spending more money than I'm saving. There was a little while that I spent a little too much money in a couple of years, probably. And my whole thing was, you're not going to be able to bury it with me. So why not enjoy it while I have it? So, like, I really took the approach that this is our life. If we wait for it, it might never come. So I want my life to be something that I could look back on and say, look at all the things I did, not look at all the things I wanted to do.
So
That's how it changed me. I realized that putting things off till tomorrow could mean that it's never going to happen. So why put it off till tomorrow? If you want to do it, if there's something that's in your heart, you need to go after it.
you're a person who values relationship. You live by your actions, not by words. I wanted to see where it all came from.
Yeah. I would say with people and relationships, Sean really taught me you have to tell people how you feel about them right away. And with my own issues, it was just do and be happy. So that's what I try to do. I used to always have to plan and I didn't want to stray from the plan. But now I'm like, you know what? A plan is just words on a paper. It's good to have an idea of a plan, but just you figure it out as you go.
Has this ever evoked like life and death questions for you? And I think you're living it.
So it definitely made me do things like when I think of life and death, I think about, do I have a will in place? It definitely made me do all that. When I get cremated, I want to have my ashes spread in 9 different spots all around the world. And I want specifically my son, my brother, my nephews, and my boyfriend to go and spread my ashes in all of the 9 places. So part of my will covers a trip for them to go to these 9 different places. So I want to take the people that I loved and have them experience and see it the way that I did. Nobody likes to think about it because no one wants to think that it can happen to them. And I think that's where my one doctor was like, we're all going to die one day. It's just a matter, like, some people are going to do it sooner than others. So I think that, and as silly as it was and as joking as it was when he said it, that made me realize, you know what, you're right. It's going to happen to every one of us. So it's not something to be afraid of because I'm not going to live life in fear. I want to live life to the fullest. Let it fear me.